Okay, welcome in one and all. I'm now going to be reviewing Sunday's action from the Major League Baseball season. The Philadelphia Phillies went into Washington to take on the Nationals. The Nationals would prevail in this matchup. 3-2 would be the final score. With that, they are now sitting at 3-6, and after the loss, the Phillies are now sitting at 4-5. Mackenzie Gore picked up his first win of the season. Christopher Sanchez suffered his first loss. He's 0-1, while Kyle Finnegan would get his third save of the year. The Pittsburgh Pirates would win a nail biter over the Baltimore Orioles. 3-2 would be the final score. With that, they are now sitting at 8-2. And after the loss, the Orioles are 5-4. Jose Hernandez would pick up his first win of the season, while Yenye Keno would be 1-1 after the loss. The Blue Jays are wrapping up their series with the Yankees, and it was a tough one to say the least for if you're a Blue Jays fan. 8-3 would be the final score with the victory. The Yankees are now 8-2. I believe they're still first in that AL East, while the Jays have now dropped to 4-6. Jake Cousins would pick up his first win of the season. Bowden Francis would get his second loss of the year. He's now 0-2, and Dennis Santana would pick up his first save for the Yankees. The Diamondbacks were taking on the Atlanta Braves. The Braves would win the contest 5-2. It would be the final score. Atlanta is now sitting at 6-2, while the Diamondbacks have dropped to 4-6. Chris Sale would get his first win of the year, while Ryan Nelson is now 0-2 as a starter. Pierce Johnson would pick up the save, for the Atlanta Braves. The Oakland A's took on the Detroit Tigers, and the A's would win this one in a pretty big fashion. 7-1 would be the final score. With the victory, they are now sitting at 3-7, and despite the loss, the Tigers are still 3 games above 500. They're sitting at 6-3. Joel Boyle would pick up his first win of the season. He's now 1-1 as a starter, while Jack Flaherty is now 0-1. The New York Mets would into Cincinnati to take on the Reds. They would win this contest. 3-1 would be the final score. They are now sitting at 3-6. After the loss, Cincinnati is sitting at 5-4. Sean Manaea is 1-0 as a starter. Andrew Abbott is 0-1, while Edwin Diaz got his second save for the Yankees. Oh my God, the Mets. The Seattle Mariners went into Milwaukee to take on the Brewers, and the Brewers put on a show, to say the least. 12-4 would be the final score. With the victory, Milwaukee is now sitting at 6-2. After the loss, the Mariners are now 4-6. Colin Rea would pick up his second win of the season. He's 2-0. After the loss, Emerson Hancock is now 1-1. And if I'm pronouncing this name correctly, Thiago Vieira would get his first save for the Brewers. The White Sox were continuing their series with the Kansas City Royals. The Royals would get this one. 5-3 would be the final score. They are now sitting at 6-4, while the White Sox are sitting at a lowly 1-8. John Schreiber would get his first win for the Kansas City Royals. He's now 1-0, while Devi Garcia is now 0-2. James MacArthur will get his second save for the Kansas City Royals. An upset, to say the least. The Miami Marlins finally got their first win of this 2024 campaign. They got a big one. 10-3 would be the final score. They're now sitting at 1-9, while the St. Louis Cardinals are now sitting at 500 with a 5-5 record. Max Meyer would pick up his first win of the season, while Kyle Gibson suffered the L for St. Louis. The Chicago Cubs quickly rebounded after losing Saturday's game to the Dodgers with a 8-1 win over the LA. With that, the Cubs are now sitting at 6-3, and despite the loss, the Dodgers are still 8-4 on the season. If I pronounce his name correctly, Yency Almonte would get his first win of the year. Galvin Stone suffered the loss. He's 0-1, and Daniel Palencia would get his first save as a Cub. Okay, the Tampa Bay Rays were continuing their series with the Colorado Rockies. Were they continuing their series or they just started? Either way, they took on the Colorado Rockies. 3-2 would be the final score. Tampa Bay has now evened up their record. They are now 5-5. After the loss, the Rockies are now 2-8. Ryan Papoyet would get his first win of the season. He's now 1-1. Dakota Hudson is 0-2 as a starter. And Sean Armstrong picked up his first win of the season. Alrighty, the San Diego Padres were continuing their series with the San Francisco Giants. The Giants would get the better of the Padres this time with the victory. The Giants are now sitting at 4-6. 3-2 was the final score, I should have said. And after the loss, the Padres are 5-7. Ryan Walker is now 1-0 as a starter for the Giants. Uni Brito is 0-2 as a starter for the Padres. And Camilo Doval got his first save for the Giants. Alrighty. The Boston Red Sox went into LA to take on the Angels. 12-2 would be the final score. With the victory, Boston's now improved to 7-3. After the loss, the Angels are now sitting at 5-4. Tanner Hook will get his second win of the season. He's 2-0. Chase Seth is 0-1 as a starter, and Chase Anderson suffered his second. Didn't suffer. He got his second save of the season. Wow. And the last matchup from Sunday took place in Texas as we had the Houston Astros playing against the Texas Rangers. The Astros would prevail in this matchup. 3-1 would be the final score. After this win, they are now 3-7. And after the loss, the Texas Rangers are 6-3. Ronald Blanco is now 2-0 as a starter. Gabe Dudding is now 1-1. And Josh Hader got his first save for the Houston Astros. Alrighty, that takes care of my little recap from Sunday's action of the Major League Baseball season. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, take care.